We are here to bring you everything and anything surrounding Porsche. I'm Mike.
I'm Aaron.
And this is PCar Talk.
Well, welcome to another episode of PCar Talk. I'm Mike.
And I'm Aaron.
And we are on location in Miami at legendary RMC with Danny and Eddie. Thank you guys for having us.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, we're in the showroom. Let me get you closer to this over here.
Always a pleasure having you.
Yeah, that's better.
Here.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we've known each other for a little bit now, always have outstanding inventory. So we're going to talk a little bit about RMC as a whole, talk about, you guys' role with RMC. And then I think I want you to educate some of our listeners because your family and everything that you guys are doing here too around the DP cars and how you guys have acquired them, what they are essentially, because there's a lot of people that don't even know what they are. Right. And there's really special cars.
Yeah,
so let's go ahead and get rolling. So, like, how long has RMC been in business?
So we started in like 87,
Okay.
88. Just typical wholesale.
Cocaine Cowboys, bro.
Absolutely, bro.
You know how they do it.
Miami's booming. You gotta do whatever you can. That's
gotta
legal,
move some money around, right?
Exactly. So they started with that. The wholesaling cars, and my old man started off really working close with like the collection and like bigger dealerships that would take a lot of Porsches in trade at the time. So like, through, from 87 to like 95, 97, it was, you're getting 964s on trade for 15 grand. RS Americas were 18.
Crazy, right?
And they were junk, like he crashed 3 cars in one day, like on the same street, like
Wow.
total.
Damn.
Yeah, like that's how many were running around down here.
Yeah.
At the time, obviously they weren't his fault.
Yeah.
It was just
Circumstance.
just crazy. That's how it is living here.
Yeah.
It's insanity. And from that, he got into muscle cars.
Mm-hmm.
And from, I want to say like 2000 to 2008, 2000.
Yeah, during that muscle car boom,
muscle
right?
car boom, like right before the whole crisis, the economy took a shit.
Like all the touring cars and all that kind of stuff. They were just like the...
Right, so, we were known as real muscle car because we would only buy, there was a lot of fake cars going around at the time. People would restamp VINs.
Oh.
And they would make they would take a 6-cylinder Camaro, make it an SS, and tell you, make fake paperwork.
Damn.
Like, this car's real, and it wasn't. So my dad had a really good rep for that, for having the real deal shit.
Yeah.
And then obviously,
That's cool. I didn't fucking know that.
Actually,
that
what's
was
interesting
happening.
is Peter, you tell him like a VIN number of a car, like an old car.
Uh-huh.
He's like, okay, that car's got this interior with this motor, this transmission. He'll know.
Already knows, huh?
That's kind of wild,
Nice.
You're like, whoa.
That's really crazy.
Yeah, it's
He's like, well, this car should have been optioned this way if that's the VIN code on it, and it's missing this, so I know that's bullshit.
So, but it'll get way past that. Like people would start restamping bodies. So imagine they would put a fake VIN number from another. They would take, they'll find, for example, we found, we can't say his name.
Yeah.
But we found a GT500, Acapulco blue in a yard in Homestead, like rusted out. We opened the door fell off, put it on eBay, sold for 50 grand. Sold it to a cop at the time that worked for what's it called when you work like in the stolen car department.
Oh, okay, like the theft.
Whatever,
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, take everything off of, because he basically told us that he's putting that entire VIN number into another chassis, like motor.
Like flat out was just like.
Flat out, straight up, just told us. And like, obviously, he told us this after we sold it, the car. He called us and he was sending us pictures and we're like, we don't want to know any of this.
Exactly.
Like, this is not good information.
Please don't tell me this stuff.
So what I'm saying is that, there was a lot of fake stuff going on at the time. And so, obviously then, the market took a shit and that's when I started coming in and, I would see like Amethyst Violet. My dad didn't want anything to do with Porsches, nothing.
Yeah. Really?
And I'm like going through Craigslist because I always wanted a 964. Like as a jit, I was 17, 18 years old. I wanted
that was your car.
A Slam 964. Like I didn't care. They were cheap at the time. I'm like,
you're like, this is a realistic car. I should be able to get one of these.
I'm like, yo, Dad, like this is like it's like a plum crazy purple, which is like a Mopar color.
Yeah.
Like 964, it's 18 grand. Like and like he's like, absolutely not. We're not buying that. And I'm like, well, like what? Why not? Like I feel like this car's worth so much more. Mm-hmm. And I was like 18, so this is like 10 years ago. This is like 7, 8 years ago.
So you already knew, like that at that time. You were already thinking.
I don't know what it was. Like I just feel like that's what I saw growing up. Like I grew up going 200 miles an hour in a 3.6 turbo. Down the turnpike racing. Like that's like I just grew up around those cars, so I always wanted one. Mm-hmm. So that that escalated, and I'm like, after 2 years being in the business, showing how serious I am with with him,
Yeah.
he started to take my advice a little more seriously.
Yeah. Well, you just saw what you liked, and you're like, well, other people are gonna like this too.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, dude, I went on Auto Trader and I was like, listen, we're gonna buy like.
And then it also brings in a different demographic of age too, right? Because you saw it, you were like, your peers liked it, so you were like, Dad, I'm telling you,
Everybody
these
liked
cars
it.
are going to sell. They're going to sell.
Absolutely. Like now, and at the time, obviously, like, you know, there was nobody my age at the time that could afford that. But
Yeah.
I knew that these cars were going to blow up. So we went on Auto Trader and I literally bought like 3 930s.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cleanest ones I could find. You know, they were still 30, 35 grand I was buying them for.
Isn't
This is
that-
how long, like.
That's how crazy that is.
And, you know, we just recently sold one of them. We sold it for like 135, bought it back, sold it for like 145, for like a white red 931
Yeah.
owner. That we had bought for $36,000 off the original.
The original
owner.
where it
That was for
started.
sale for everybody to see. So like not trying to like blow steam up
No,
my own
yeah.
ass, but like I definitely saw this shit coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I definitely saw it coming.
But since you're like, you know, you were in it too, like, and you had an enjoy, like, you just knew, like, you had that feeling. You're like, these are undervalued.
Absolutely.
This is undervalued.
I just had two different point of views, you know, like
Yeah.
I being in the game with him for such a long time and then seeing what the future might
Exactly. And you
be.
saw what muscle cars
Right.
did. So you're just like, these are going to eventually have their day. It has to happen.
You know, see, like, right, I think they're going to have their day, but I think the difference with the muscle car market is that muscle car, like, for the most part, the market was limited to the United States. Like,
Yeah.
you don't see people spending $1 million on
That's
on a
true.
71 CUDA Hemi convertible. Like, to them, it's just a
Exactly.
gas guzzling piece of shit.
Exactly. They're like, that thing
Fuck
handles
that.
like shit.
It
like,
does nothing but looks cool.
Yeah.
You know, like we were talking
Makes
about.
a lot of
like
fucking
a 72T, it looks good.
Yeah.
It don't go nowhere.
Exactly.
And it does nothing good.
Looks pretty. It's a
looks
good
pretty.
showroom piece.
It's a showroom piece.
Did he kind of buy in, I guess, with the Porsche
Right.
stuff? Like when you finally were starting to see some and you sold some turbos and you
bro,
sold
like,
some cars, was he
starts
kind of
seeing
like,
that, and obviously, like, yeah, he wants to get, he's trying to get in on it.
Yeah.
And that's, we were in 6,000 square feet. We're in almost 20,000 square feet, and we're outgrown. This was, it's only been a couple of years. Like,
yeah.
And it's, just growing. Like, people now my age are starting to make money, so now they can afford it. And
Exactly.
now classic car companies are financing these cars. Like,
Yes. That's
But
a
you
good
put-
that's a good
you
point.
put-
Which
too.
a lot of people don't know about. I mean, you
Yeah.
can finance a car these days for 12 years. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
and there's a different kind of leniency with the collector car market because it's treated as an asset too because it's a
Right.
collector car. So then your loan is longer too, even if you need to.
well,
do
and
that.
it's
That's-
appreciating. So let's say your
Exactly.
car goes up in value 5% a year, and your interest rate's 5% a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's free money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
sorry, what I was saying, that the market on the muscle cars, I just remembered. I'm fucking retarded.
It's okay.
All right, so like, yeah, it's limited to the United States. A Porsche,
Yeah.
the European market for the Porsches they're way ahead of us,
Yeah.
and South America and Asia, like just literally anywhere except the United States. Now the United States is starting to catch up.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's just because Europe has always had the curvy roads
They've
and
had-
that they know that driving is more than just a straight line for a lot
Absolutely.
of it.
I think yes, but like the classic car market
Yeah.
has always been different there. Like
Yeah.
to them, they think that all our shit was stupid. So
Yeah.
now all the cars that have been sitting around here that are starting to gain value, now they're getting traded all over the world. So,
Exactly.
Yeah, we export a lot of cars. I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
look
wild.
outside to your right, literally right there.
Yeah.
There are 6 cars that are getting exported.
Yeah.
Taiwan, Thailand, Russia, Puerto Rico. Like these cars are leaving.
And,
so like,
and that's what he was saying too, and you've told me that too. Like a lot of times, unfortunately, they do end up going because outside of the country they see something. Let's just use an example because there's one sitting right behind us, a DP car or whatever, and they're like, they know how rare that car is, and they're like, holy shit, I want that car.
Absolutely,
As
yeah.
opposed to maybe like a U.S. buyer's like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
And
there's
it's
a
like,
lot.
dude, you got to get your IQ up.
There's a lot less. There's a lot less uneducated people.
Yeah.
Here, when it comes to like the '80s tuners cars and '90s tuners cars,
Mm-hmm.
to them they are like, oh, that's a slant nose.
Yeah.
And it's like
No.
that was before slant nose.
Exactly.
Like, that's way more than just a slant nose. That's way more than what Porsche came out with way before.
Exactly.
Like, it's so ahead of their time.
I'm like,
It's
dude,
crazy.
And like we'll get into it because I loved it. You educated me the first time we came, and you told me about the DB cars, and like I want to talk about that later in the show, where you can tell people about the significance of them and why they're so important, and like they're, how they're in racing and how they helped racing and all that kind of stuff, and like their. Their engineering and everything they thought of and all that kind of stuff was way cutting edge shit, like as compared to like anything that was going on at the time.
It's not even so cutting edge. It was just I think that. I mean, I'm sorry to jump into it.
No,
like,
we can go into it now. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. I just think that-
let's roll with it.
Like the Zimmermans were they just saw something different than everybody else. I mean, like you were saying, they essentially created the slant nose. They
Yeah.
made the 935, they made the 934, they made the RSR. They made all these cars. Like, they didn't make these in a wind tunnel. Like,
Yeah.
they would do laps around Nürburgring with little flags on the cars. There was like 150 flags on the cars.
Like old school style, like
Old school style, literally. And seeing and trying different things, seeing what works. And that led to Le Mans winning race cars.
Exactly.
Year after year. You know, from these guys building shit, hanging their heads out the windows,
It's
going 150 miles an hour.
crazy,
like,
right?
And
But it worked.
It worked, and it still works.
Yeah.
I mean, they just came out with a 935.
I know.
Fucking GT2 RS,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And guess
like,
what it looks like? A slant
they're
nose.
calling it a
exactly.
935. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally, it's a slant nose GT2. Like,
Exactly.
It's the fucking same car.
Cuts through the air, just
It's there's
and
no
like the
difference.
silver car you guys sold, like when the stuff you guys were, you and your dad were showing me when we were here last time, with just like the rear windshield, how they brought stuff up, like they just knew, they're like, okay, this pocket of air back here
They
is
designed it to cut air.
turbulent, so we need to get that off of the car, and that's why they were winning, they were killing
So
in
IMSA,
races.
it's crazy because IMSA at the time had, you know, one of the rules is that they had to have factory windshields in place.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, no problem, we'll keep the factory windshield. You know, factory
Mm-hmm.
placement. They're just gonna put another one on top of it, and they literally just straight from the roof through the deck lid, and they just made their own windshield on top of the original
That's so
windshield.
crazy.
Like just. You know, now obviously, you know, just like groupie rally racing, like
Exactly.
and like all this '80s crazy shit. You know, F1, like
Yeah.
no regulation, highest horsepower as possible.
Exactly.
Until people start dying.
Just go nuts.
and
Yeah.
shit
And
starts
then-
happening.
Yeah, you
We'll
start-
back it off.
Yeah,
from
and then like, all right, we're gonna turn it
Cars
back a
start
bit.
flying off the cliffs and stuff like that. It's
Running
like,
into
okay, come on.
people, you know,
Yeah.
that's the problem. And or cars got just too fast. There's so much faster than their competition.
Yeah.
Because they had that.
Then they
one-
got regulated
and
because then they were like, we have to do something
Yeah, because
because
they're
you guys
beating you
are
by
just
20 seconds when the
Exactly.
car should be within tenths of a second of
Yep.
winning.
And
you know.
how it is. Haters start coming out. Everybody else in the race, they're like, how are we supposed to compete with this?
Right.
Like, we're not.
Get better. That's how.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Fuck yeah, bro.
You're like-
fucking do it.
Well, it's not our fault they're badass. Like, what do you want us to do? They're like, cut their nuts off or do something.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
and that's what they end up doing. Like, you know? And it's
Take a
like,
testicle. There you
exactly. I mean, it's incredible just the design on that. And like you said, I think that was a great point, you know, going back to what you said, like somebody sees it and they're like, oh, that's just a slant nose. And it's like, dude, that is not
So
just a
much
slant nose,
So like
man.
I don't think you guys have seen. There's a new one. We got another DP. The one with the fans.
Yeah, I just saw that one,
So
like
that
today,
car has got
obviously.
even crazier. Like that's the craziest one.
Mm-hmm.
That car started off body in white, like buy a chassis from Porsche and build.
Uh-huh.
Like just like Roof did.
Yeah.
Roof, you know, W09 car is a body in white. They literally make their own car.
Yeah.
Just here's a roof.
It's like
and
here.
you know, where the dash should be and some floors. And
Exactly.
That's it.
Have at it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's crazy. I didn't know that about that car.
So yeah, that car's got an extended front windshield. It's got no cowl. It's got one single DTM wiper blade. Like
Yeah, I saw that.
it's
It's
got
crazy.
shaved gutters, no sunroof.
Mm-hmm.
And they did all of that, you know, in house, like
Mm-hmm.
twin turbo motor, and just like the list goes on and on. G50 short bell housing.
Yeah.
Engines moved up. You know, the entire bottom of the car is super aerodynamic, and it's just to build that shit in 19. You know, people
Yeah.
can't. You know, Singer's cool, but they don't have.
Exactly. That's
That's got
race
heritage,
technology.
bro. That's
yeah.
race heritage.
Yeah,
Like,
that's race technology. That's Le
like,
Mans winning technology.
That's Le Mans winning technology. Like Singer, I'm not trying to put them down.
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't see $1.8 million or 1.5.
Yeah.
They have no racing.
Yeah.
Baddest cars for sure. Baddest long hoods there, but it's not car with
Yeah.
heritage. It's not
Fraction-
roof. It's not roof that had
and
the
that's the
world's
thing is,
fastest
like,
cars in
yeah.
the 80s and 90s. Like,
Yeah.
These are people that are just riding the bandwagon now. you know?
Exactly, and you could pick up a DP car at a fraction of that price. At like $400,000, you could go get one, and you can get
That's got
history.
history.
And that's what, like, we talked about that offline, which was so shocking to me. That it was like, do these people not know? Like, I mean,
People don't.
I wish I had the money because I would be snatching all of these up
Yeah.
because that's how special they all are. I mean, like oh, that's a 1 of 4. That's a 1 of 1. I mean, you guys have probably had what 7 or 8 DP cars come through here, or,
Yeah, for sure. yeah.
and
just
you
a lot
guys.
of 80s tuners cars in general, obviously.
And again, going back to like all the other stuff, the unique things, like you guys are pretty much the, I guess, you know, being what you guys do with RWB, with roof cars, with DP cars, you guys are the educated sellers on these kind of cars and understand them and understand their significance and their provenance. And that's why you guys seek them out, you know? And it's like, and I was telling Eddie earlier, I had never seen any other enthusiast dealership that carries the kind of weight of inventory that you guys have from an eclectic standpoint.
Yeah.
It's
From
unbelievable.
a thought-out standpoint.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, we try to get the most unique stuff that we could find. I mean, people know us for that. So like, all right, if I'm going to look for something unique, let me go to rmcmiami.com. Literally the first thing they do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
And
even from stock from wild to mild, like a mile to wild.
Exactly,
Like,
and it's crazy because everything in here, even to be clear, it's not that you guys just do Porsche, but you guys are very good at Porsche, but you guys sell everything. You have Supras in here, you have BMWs in here, like, so it's everything, which is great. But I mean, with that being said, it's still the rarity in those brands too. It's like,
Absolutely.
okay, I went and got a badass Supra, like I got a BPU Supra, I got a old school, Fairlady Z, like I got
dude,
like
we got Datsun,
Yeah.
Sylvia, Supra.
So it's like
it's
the primo of those brands, like the ones even those people, the JDM people or the Beamer people, they're seeking for. It's the primo of those cars too. Like you've got that E36 M3 Euro car,
car
back
yellow.
there, like slick top back there, and it's like that's
nobody would know to buy that. Like
Yeah.
it's not, for the most part. I think that we're just, we're car enthusiasts. We're not Porsche purists. Like we just like cars. Like we buy what we like.
Exactly.
Like, Eddie himself, like he really likes BMWs. Obviously, he's got 30 of them. They're all broken. But
Shocker.
But it's what we buy what we like.
But it makes sense though, because it appeals to another enthusiast. Because I come in here, even though I'm a Porsche guy, I'm a car guy first, and I still, even though I don't own a BMW, like I have owned BMWs in the past, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not in the E36 market, just because my IQ's up. Like I look at that Supra, I know what that is. I look at the Lancer, I know what that is. Even though I'm not in the JDM market, I look at the Z, I know
still
what
a
that stuff
respectable
is.
car.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter because you're a car enthusiast, though.
Exactly.
There's some. I think that's what we try to shy away from. Which again, we have nothing against, but like we're not that type of guy that goes to the concourse and goes and talk shit about having the wrong tires on his 930.
Exactly.
Like
you're like, hey,
it's
your
just like,
your
we
cigarette
appreciate
writer
you,
is
like,
from 86 and this is an 87,
Like,
so that's a problem.
if you got an EG hatch on T37, then it's slammed and it's turbo and it's cool. We appreciate it.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if you have the most expensive or the cheapest, as long as it's done tastefully.
Yeah, we appreciate modded stuff.
Exactly.
And we appreciate original stuff.
And that's what I love about you guys as a whole, because like all of your employees are the same way too. You guys have all that same motto. You guys all are enthusiasts. You guys all love cars, and it's just that's what makes this place what it is.
And we're all broke because we spend all our money on our own cars.
Yes, but that's just how it is, right? Like we don't know any better. Like if we get more money, we just dump it back into the car. That's just how it works. It's like
fuck real life.
Exactly. It's like whatever.
Fuck bills.
You're like, I got bills to pay. I need tires.
I need a new AEM for my car. Yeah, I need tires. Yeah,
I need tires. You're like, but I mean, that's just how it is, and that's what I can't emphasize, and the people that I'm educating that are listening that maybe don't know about you guys should definitely check them out and look them up, because their inventory is always changing over, and they always have something crazy in here and something beautiful, and it's
just unique. We look for unique.
Yeah.
Like whatever's different. Like we're not trying to have that other 82 white SE that 30 other dealers have.
It's Safari ride height.
Yeah, Safari ride height, stock Fuchs. Like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not.
Yeah, that's
style.
That's not this.
It's not our style.
Exactly.
We'll sell it. We'll take it in trade. But
exactly.
That's not what we aim for. We aim for stuff that's built and has passion and love, and we try to share that with somebody else. We're just the middleman of.
And back to what we've talked about too, like we love the way the cars look, but they also have to perform too, right? Like we're all cut from the same cloth, and I think that's why we all get along really well. We're like, yeah, it looks great, man, but it's slow as shit. Yeah. That doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't know if you want to talk, like, you know how we feel about RWBs, like.
Yeah, we're not all about just show. Like we wanted to have go. We want people to drive their cars. We want people to be like, hey, bought this car from RMC, dude, this thing's awesome. Like I have to just tell everybody about it. You know what I mean? That's what we aim for.
Exactly.
So.
And the same thing, like with like RWBs, like you were saying, we've talked about that before, and I'm not trying to talk trash about any of the owners that are out there, and to each their own.
Absolutely.
But I just
everybody
has
their own style,
and I
there's
just feel
nothing
like
wrong
if you're
with
going there, it's almost kind of like a while you're in there, right? If you're going there, dude, why not just build a monster engine?
I think that just people don't really see past, like, they just want to.
The visual part.
Kind of honestly, like it's. Again, not to put any owners on, but you're kind of, for the most part, they're clout chasing. Like, it's, they just want to be cool on social media and have, the 14-year-old kids at the Cars and Coffee going crazy.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's cool, and it's cool to have the attention. You're building the car for attention.
Yeah.
Regardless, whether it's fast, whether it's slow, whether it has no motor in it, the car is built for attention.
And we're not talking trash about it because they sell a lot of RWBs here, so it's not about that.
No, we sell. Yeah,
exactly.
We have a full blown out race car RWB. We have a show car fast RWB.
Yeah.
We have another show car. Just preferably, I think that, you know, like cars built in Japan, you know, like I think that they're built with a different sense of mind. You know, that these cars need to perform. They're getting RWB'd, obviously for looks, but also because the performance standpoint is the car's much wider, the track, and Nakai really knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
You know, with setting up the suspension there, and I think all the tuner shops there, like, you know, the one we have has got, you know, it's got a built 3.6, you know, turbo converted, T78 truss, Motec, you know, twin oil coolers with fans, like crazy suspension, crazy brakes. You know, I think that's the proper way to, you know, sunroof delete, caged.
Exactly.
You know, like it's a track
car. It's ready to go.
Purpose-built car. Yeah.
And that's what, like, we've talked about that before on the podcast, but I'm going to bring it home again. A lot of people that don't know about Nakai, that just see what they see on social media or whatever these, you know, places that do videos on him, like the actual background behind what all of that RWB stuff was to go racing. Like, he was building a wider track for himself and his friends in Japan to go race at Eilers so they could get better traction on their 911s that they were running, and their cars were race cars.
Yeah,
it wasn't
we spent
these.
Time watching.
They weren't putting they're not putting candy paint on the car. They don't care about the paint. They're going to race.
Yeah, right.
You know, just like imagine a track guy here building a car. But the difference is he had an idea of like, well, I'm going to make my own body kit because I wanted the car to be wider because I can't put a big enough tire under this 911 that I want to go run.
He ended up, you know, hitting a lick because he made it pretty.
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
It ended up working.
And it worked.
Perfect timing.
It worked.
And it worked.
You know?
And
marketed product.
And again, Nakai doesn't build, like, you know, for the most part, like the cars built in Japan are different stuff, but like he just, you know, he's just selling his body kit. Like, I'm sure he showed up to a couple builds and be like, you know, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah.
Like, this is terrible.
I'm
like,
sure.
He got paid X amount of money, so he's going to build a car.
But also, he's a professional, so he's not going to...
he didn't build the car.
Exactly.
It's not like he set up the suspension and the brakes and did all, you know, the mods. He's just cutting the car up, putting the body kit, doing it his way, in the
He's
right
in the
way.
customer service industry, so he's going to be professional. He's going to go there, and he's going to...
Sure he's looked at a couple and
but
like...
I guarantee I'm the same way. He probably goes there, and he's like, great.
What the fuck is this?
Great.
Yeah.
This is
what I got to build. Yeah. They're not built by him.
They're like, this is what you want?
Yeah,
whatever. Fine. Have fun. I'm out of here.
I mean, kudos to him. There was like a waiting list for X amount of time.
Of course. Of course.
Done, so.
And it's funny because in some of the circles I talk in, and they're the same, just like us, we talk about, like, if I were to build an RWB car, it would just be, straight race car, like all glass in it would be plexi. It's all coming out. Like, I would probably do race livery on it just because I like livery stuff, but I mean, it wouldn't even be, it would just be like a wrap, almost like they do with Le Mans cars or whatever. It's like a blank canvas, they throw shit on it,
kind of like,
and you go race. Like, all the money would go.
Foreign affairs cars, like
exactly.
Like, it's a very track. Foreign affairs is I think one of my favorite RWB builds.
And that's why I like that car too, because it's like a track car.
It reminds me really a lot of this guy, the Hoonigan's car.
Scotto's car.
Scotto's car.
Yeah.
Both bought 964 turbos off of eBay that were all fucked up, and they brought them back to life, and they're essentially race cars, both of them. You know, and I think that's really.
I would build the motor up.
I think that those two are one of my favorite, and like Phil Morris.
Yep.
You know, the car in the UK, I think. Those are like properly built cars.
I agree, and that's the way those should be done, in my opinion. Yeah. Obviously, my opinion is just my opinion, but if I were to build one, it would just. That's how I would do it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like, I would even take it to the next level. I would never even wash the car. Like, I would just like let tire track all over it.
I do that with
like,
my own cars already.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I would just leave all the tire marks, all of it, and I'm like, dude, this is what this thing is for. It's a tool.
Cool, like, but that's what's cool. Like, everybody has their own.
Exactly.
Their own flavor.
Yeah. Everyone adds their own flavor to it. Like, and I think that's what's dope about having, you build the RWB, just some flavors don't.
Yeah, and then some of them have like 6 pounds of flake in it, and it's like, who knows?
It's a bass boat.
Yeah, cool. Exactly. It's shimmering down the road, It's just like, damn, okay. To each their own, whatever, but I get it. And, and I know kind of we segued it into that, but you guys let's talk about it for a little bit. And we talked a lot about it. RWB as a whole I think you guys are kind of getting known for, like, if somebody has an RWB build and they're ready to get rid of it or something, or they want to sell it, they know to kind of come to you guys to kind of move it, either consign it, or if you guys find it and you want to actually just purchase the car, just resell it or whatever. Because you guys have moved several I would say probably more than RWBs as a whole than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, for sure there's a couple of people in Cali and stuff that have definitely done a couple more, but I think down south and East Coast, like, there's nobody that really does what we do.
Yeah.
And one, given because we have, like, no rules on the roads here. Like, it's race car, tag, and go.
Yeah.
But emissions is life, man.
I know.
Open headers, doesn't matter.
That's why I tell people in Cali all the time, they're like, why do you live in Florida? I was like, it's worth the heat because we can do whatever we want to our cars.
Absolutely.
Facts.
But yeah, like, you know, it's people, you know, like a car flipper, like, you know, you can call us whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. I could care less. You can pay my bills. But, like, people don't understand. It's not that easy to sell these cars.
No.
Like, you know, there's a lot of, you know, behind the scenes stuff that goes on. Like,
well, there's tons of strategy that people don't even, like, look at.
90% of the time, you know, if you're lucky enough to have somebody be like, yo, I want your car, here's fucking 140 grand.
Exactly.
You know, it happens. But in reality, it's like overnight.
That's like
there's a lot more.
And it doesn't really happen.
That's what I was going to say. That's like a one-off situation.
Exactly. So for the most part, you're going to have to sit around, get 38 fucking tire kickers, 52 different trade offers, low ballers. And a lot of people don't want to deal with that and showing the car and wasting their time and months of time and preparation,
it's a lot of patience.
And advertising. And it's like, people don't, you know, they don't realize, like, there's a lot that goes into this.
Yep.
Like, we have overhead, like, we have employees on this.
These cars cost money sitting here.
24/7, absolutely.
Literally.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, you might not be getting exactly what you want for the car at all times. You know, if you want 140 and you get 120, you know, you got to bite the bullet. But it's going to...
But you're moving it. Then.
You're moving it. Like, and if you want to trade it, you're saving money on taxes. But,
exactly.
like, you're moving the car and you know, you're not taking... We take trade, or consignment also works, but we take trades. We get the cars financed. You know, we get these cars... We prep them as much as we can. Obviously, we haven't been custodians of these cars for the last 30 years, so we don't know every nook and cranny, unfortunately. Because we do move cars. Like, we don't sell 3 cars a month. Like, we're selling 20... You know, 25 cars a month. Like, it's...
Exactly. You're not one of those dealerships that occasionally sells a car.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah,
we're moving cars.
I call those like museum dealerships.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like a museum.
Yeah, we've spoken about a couple of them.
Exactly.
Before this.
I mean, every time you come here, you see the inventory's
different cars.
Changed.
Yeah.
Like,
just the stuff that we keep. Like,
and actually, we're here quite often, so it's not like, oh, I'll visit every once in a great while, and it's like, of course, inventory is always changing, and like, you know, since we're good friends, I'm always seeing what's coming in too, and I'm always DMing you or
fire
messaging you.
Fire emoji,
yeah, exactly.
hard eyes emoji, hard eyes emoji. Fuck
like,
yeah,
I was
sick.
like, I'm like, I want that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, it's the best. But I mean, you really do. You speak to my heart just because I'm an enthusiast like you guys. It almost feels like when you buy a car, I feel like I'm like, I would have bought that car too. I would have bought that car to sell. I get that because
you see it.
Yeah,
we share the passion. That's
I could see the vision. I'm like, I walk in here and I'm like, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, everything in here makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and that's what I love about you guys as a whole too. It's not even like, there's a lot of dealers. Again, if that's what you do for a living, that's fine. And I'm not trying to talk trash about you, but these guys live it too. They're also enthusiasts. You know, they jump in their enthusiast car when they're working and drive home in it.
It's a driver, bro.
Yeah, it's a driver, bro. And they go home in it, but they also like work it too. So, you know, there's a lot of other places that come in, or people that come in at work at dealerships, and they're like, yeah, I sell cars for a living, but I don't know about them and I don't care about them. Like, you guys know everything about them.
Yeah, well, I mean, it took a long time to fortunately get this beautiful man that I have standing working for me. No, but like, dude, the guy, you know, our sales guy before, like, he wasn't a car guy. Like, and it was really annoying. Like, you know, like, you don't know the difference between a 964 and a 993 after selling air-cooled Porsches for 3, 4, 5 years.
Exactly.
You know, you just don't care.
Exactly.
So, you know.
And that reflects in the teamwork of, like, your business as a whole, too. And it also comes through as when an enthusiast like myself comes in, and if I talk to a guy and I'm like, well, what happened to that 964 you guys had here? And they're like,
964?
What do you mean? Oh, you mean the blue car?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it wasn't. No. What the fuck? Like,
yeah.
Where's Eddie at? Like, like, you know what I mean? You don't even want to talk to the guy anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of one of those things. It's like, dude, get out of here, man. Like,
I think whenever we call like a dealership, like for the most part,
if you can even get them on the phone.
Yeah.
I mean,
my God, nobody answers the phone.
Nobody answers the phone.
Yeah.
It's like,
like to buy a car wholesale or find it for a client, like they don't even know. Like you tell them like, yo, what's up with that 92? You know, like you said, 92, 964, like on speed lines. You're like,
huh?
Which one's that one?
Which one's that? I got a 2018. It's like, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
They're like,
Nope. Try again.
yeah.
So that's, but that's what happened, with the power of social media now. Like, obviously, that's how we met you guys.
Yeah.
And you meet a lot of people that share the same passion. I think that social media for, at least in car culture, is a huge, like, connecting.
Yes.
Everybody's
spot.
connected.
It's a
For
major
cars.
asset. Yeah.
Like, for cars, I think it's one of the biggest for sure. Like, nobody goes on Facebook or
Exactly.
YouTube. Like, it's IG for cars.
Yep.
Like,
It's
Yeah,
huge. You're right.
You can check out
because
everybody's stuff across the world.
Bro.
yeah,
Like, and
you
it's-
could check in with
it's a
guys in
blog.
Europe. You're
Basically, like people just blog their cars.
Yeah.
Not
Like,
only that, like you sell a car to someone and you follow them and you can kind
Exactly.
of follow what's going on with the car,
Well,
how they
and
mod it, what they do to it.
on top of that too is an also good thing, and I know you guys do it because you're in the industry, but not only because you sell cars, because you're interested in cars. We do all do the same things. Like you start to follow people when their cars fire because you're just like, yo,
Yeah.
if I ever
He
get a
knows what's
chance
up.
at that car, I want that car.
No, not even. Well, yes.
You know what I
obviously,
mean?
yeah,
because
like,
you want to keep a tab on it.
You want to keep a tab, but like
you
for
also
the most part, bro, like I know you could tell people that aren't gonna sell their shit.
Yeah.
But you never know. Like something.
But you never
things
kn-
change.
Exactly.
Things
You
change,
never
and
know.
somebody wants to sell it, and I don't want the car to end up at
Exactly.
at some bullshit dealer
Exactly.
in the middle of Ohio or North Carolina.
Exactly.
Or something. Like,
Exactly.
I want it to come to us, and I'll pay
Yeah.
more money to get that car.
Exactly. Because you'll put it back
I like
in the hands
it.
of somebody else.
That shares the same
that cares.
passion. Yeah.
Exactly.
Not just some dealership that's gonna look at a blue book
As
value and
opposed
be
to
like,
some-
all right, trade-in's 22. Like.
Yeah,
get
somebody
railed.
who's gonna like basically go to the place and they'll be like, "Oh, do you have the stock suspension and the stock wheels for the car? Because I don't like the way this
Bro,
looks."
honestly,
and it's like,
I throw stock
I was
suspension
like,
in the garbage.
I was like, "Please leave right now.
Yeah.
Just go."
I throw it in the garbage.
I was like, "Do you know how like those coilovers are 10 times better than that factory garbage that was on that car? Like,
No,
get
bro.
out of here."
They want to be able to park on a curb without,
That's true.
without.
They want to. You want to
Just
be able to
roll
run,
it straight into the tires. Yeah.
want to run over palm fronds
Exactly.
without like messing anything up, right?
I want to hit speed bumps without stopping.
Exactly.
basically. Yeah.
It's like they don't want to trouble themselves to drive around the palm frond. They'd rather just drive over it, right? It's like,
Yeah.
come on, bro. Like,
Well, I mean, that's what your car looked like. I'm sure when it was stock.
yeah. Oh, it was awful. Yeah. D90 stock, and it's like,
Lit.
I mean, yeah, fire. Like
to see
all
too,
day
though.
long. Yeah. I think there was a pair of New Balances in the front when I picked it up.
The Corvette specials.
Yeah,
Tell
exactly.
me
I
Bahama
was,
shirt.
like, I was like, yo, the starter
This guy
kit's in
Fox.
here?
Yeah, this guy
Yeah,
Fox.
exactly. I was like, starter kit's in here? For real? Sunroof's open, has a Hawaiian like girl dancing on the dash.
There you go.
Like,
That's pretty lit. Actually, that's perfect for you, bro. You're Hawaiian. That
exactly.
That would
man.
actually look pretty
get
cool.
Get
in
it
there.
done, right?
Little bobblehead,
Yeah, exactly.
like-
Be like, this is my car, right?
No, that's like my car. Like I bought it off my 993. I bought it off some 77-year-old lady. Like she's like, "Oh, you're gonna like bring it back to its glory." I was like, "Don't worry,
yeah.
I'll send you pictures when it's done." She's like, "What the fuck did you do to my car?" Like, send her pictures like 2 years later. She's
Yeah.
like, "I don't even what the fuck
What is that
thing?"
banana
Yeah.
spoiler you have on there?
Yeah. Why do you have
What did you
a
do to this?
spoiler the size of the car on it?
Yeah.
It's like,
Why is there a turbo on there now? Like, what happened to this thing?
Why is the bumper cut?
Yeah.
Literally. Why is it so low?
It's because I like chicks.
Or I like dicks.
Yeah. We talked about that earlier. The
That
cars
shit
are,
attracts more guys than girls.
cars
But
are-
you know,
all
it's-
of these cars that the way we mod them or even the way we do them, they're dick magnets, man. I swear to God, you go to get gas or a stoplight, every dude out is hanging out the window, drawing
fucking
at.
sick, and you're like, yeah, bro,
Yeah,
thanks.
exactly.
But you like
Wanna
that,
be your
though.
best friend, bro?
Yeah, like, yo,
Can we
fuck.
hang out?
Yeah.
You want to get some Bud Lights later,
Yeah,
bro? No, leave me the fuck alone. I'm feeling uncomfortable.
It's fucking weird, man.
Exactly. Just say thumbs up and move on,
Yeah.
please. But I mean, we're just those kind of guys. We're just cut from that cloth. I mean, we always mod. And I was telling somebody, I think I was telling you, I couldn't own something that was like a cherry, like unmodded, because I would bastardize it. Like I don't have the bone in me to have any discipline to not, so I don't belong owning that car.
Right.
Like I need a modded car. I don't think I've ever owned anything that's even been stock. Even my daily diesel truck driver, like it's raised, it's got mud terrains on it, it's like it's got exhaust, it's got a tune,
or
it's,
something even like a super low mileage. You're like
Yeah.
scared to drive it. You're like, I don't want to put miles on it.
exactly.
You know what
I don't even shop those cars because I know myself well enough. I know
Same.
me. You know, I'm not that guy because I have no business owning that car because I will get it, I'll pay up for it because it has low miles on it, and then I'll scumbag it. It's like, why did you do that? And I'm like,
bro,
I don't know.
My daily's like slam tuned, like it's a Range Rover. And
Yeah.
It's blown up the rear end already once.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
that's just we're different people.
I
Like,
know.
We're not that guy.
And we're those guys,
around
and like you said, we're those guys that are at the Concord. They're just like, oh my God, these
we're-
guys are here.
They're talking shit about the cars,
Yeah.
and we're like behind the car, like, look at these guys.
Exactly.
Like,
Talking trash
look
about-
at these guys talking shit about some guy's nice car. Like,
Exactly.
Bro, we were at Amelia, I think, last year, and some guys got a beautiful 996 turbo, like one of the baddest modified cars I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the judges coming around, you know, and they're starting to like, they start judging the car, and they point out like it had GT2 RS vents like in the front fenders, which it looked pretty dope, you know. And the guy like starts, you know, explaining to them, and they're like, you know, we don't really care.
What?
And the guy was like, what do you,
wow.
But like, you know, I'm just explaining, yeah, we don't really care about that stuff. Like straight up, like to his face. Like, and I saw the guy's face, like he was like shocked.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even watch this. Like I was cringing.
Yeah.
I was like, these guys are such, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not saying, again, not every concours guy is an asshole. But
exactly. I know what you're saying though. Like yeah,
those the judges are going around. They're literally like, you know, we don't really care like what you did to the car. Like I don't know why he said you've already told us enough. Thank you. And the guy was like,
just a total dick.
Yeah, like what a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what you deal with. You
exactly.
know? You could take your 10,000 mile car there with its original tires.
Exactly.
But if you want to drive it from Miami to there or somewhere, you're not. That's not the car to do it.
No. Yeah, exactly. One of our cars, it's got rock chips and, you know, bumper scrapes because we scrape. You know,
it's a driver, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
We should take some rat-rotted fucking Porsche and just park that thing in the center.
You should.
Have it judged.
I mean, I'm happy.
It's patina.
Negative 32 out of 100.
I'm hoping for the day
but it's fast, bro.
We get, like, maybe one of us can convince that one of them and pretend to be a judge one day and be like super cool and just be like, be like super chill about it. Like, you know, so they won't see my tattoos. I'll wear like a blazer or something and I'm like, yes, sir. I'm here to be a judge today.
Yeah, you come.
You know, you come in.
Top hat,
yeah,
stairs,
and then after you get like signed off to be a judge, you know, you go out, then you wear like a wife beater and you go out there and like everybody see like a chest hat and be like, bro, that's sick. Boom. You don't even use the grading chart. You just write A+ on it.
A++.
Put a giant check mark.
Bro. I was like, this guy.
110%.
This guy parties. He's in.
Yeah. For like the dope ones.
Yeah. I was like, this guy's in. He parties. Like.
Maybe we should do our own concours, bro.
We should. That would be kind of dope.
The driver division.
Yeah.
The driver division concours class.
Mods only.
Who's got the coolest car?
Yeah. The coolest modded cars only.
Fastest car. Have a dyno.
Exactly.
You know, everything.
Like, bro, blow it up. Blow it up.
Okay, who makes the highest horsepower?
Exactly. Right.
I'll be lit.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Those events are so stuffy, and I'm not trying to talk trash because I know there's people who enjoy it.
We
but
are
like,
talking trash, though.
We are,
and we're gonna go to it anyway.
You know, that's the disclaimer. But I mean, honestly, like the people who, let's be real, the people who listen to this don't care about like what we care about. So like that, and if you are, and like,
especially when they see RMC Miami, they definitely are gonna click on it.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, and the fact that we support you guys, I must be a scumbag too, right? Because you guys are scumbags, right? And you guys scumbag everybody else.
I think that honestly, we've sold like thousands and thousands of Porsches, and honestly, we've had maybe 4 or 5 bad experiences of people.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, like I said, like we don't know these cars. You know, for example, we had one guy. You know, he bought an SE, 170,000 miles, bad Carfax, car's literally crooked. He knows this, gets the car PPI'd. They show him pictures of the rust underneath the car.
I remember that car. Yes. We've talked about that car before, like a long time ago.
This is a guy that went all over, you know, Renlist, Pelican, fucking goes everywhere talking shit.
Already knew what he was getting into.
Already knew what he's getting himself into. He's getting a wrecked 170,000 mile car that's already PPI'd by somebody else.
That he tried to get for nothing anyways.
I just got the car and we took it on consignment. It's not like, which doesn't matter. If I put it in my inventory, understood, I should know, but I wasn't hiding anything.
Exactly.
Because the car had been inspected. I have pictures of when they sent the pictures.
Pictures of Miami pointing the rust out.
Yes,
pointing the rust out.
They sold me this rust bucket. The car had like battery tray rust. Like, you know,
which is standard.
Which is, honestly, it happens a lot with these Porsches. I've had 20,000 mile 930s. Battery acid starts dripping out. It corrodes the metal. It happens, you know. But nonetheless, like when you make somebody aware of it, you know, there's not much you could do.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing that I could do at that point. I just look like a dickhead, you know, trying to, you know,
exactly.
Prove my point. You know.
Well, like, that's the thing is you get one asshole like that guy, but then you have 1,000.
No, but I've had maybe 4 bad, you know, dude, we sell a lot of cars.
And sold thousands of cars and positive experiences.
Yes, dude, so many. Like, you don't understand. And
well, even just
people,
like our buddy Ed.
Shit. Like, dude, we just shipped some guy's Mercedes back because he bought an, you know, what was it,
82 SL500.
82 SL500 AMG. You know, it's a real AMG car. It's beautiful. But, like, bro, like, a fuel line's, like, wet. Like, the belts, like,
The belts are dry. The
yeah, like the pads in the front, like the car. He knows we pulled it out of a collection with 4 other ones that have been sitting for 10 years.
Yeah.
No problem. We paid for the shipping, shipped it back, fixing everything for free.
Yeah.
Sending it back. We sold the car, I think, to one of your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, the Tahoe Blue,
the Tahoe
964.
Blue, the car literally pointed out every single dent, scratch, everything. He pulled the battery out. There happens to be a little rust spot.
Yeah.
I literally texted him immediately, like, yo, let me know whatever I need to do to make this right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to.
And the great thing about Ed too is like he understands classic cars because he has classic cars,
Right.
so he understands.
He's an
like,
enthusiast.
yeah,
He
like he
drives
understands.
stuff, so.
Even
That's cool
all of
about
these
it.
cars, they're not going to be perfect. I mean, like you sit here and like you start breaking out the ages on these cars. It's like, okay, that's an 86. Okay, what do you think's gonna like? You think that's gonna be
just because
pristine?
it might look good doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
Like you can buy, like you said, like you can buy a 10,000 mile car. You're gonna go around the block, everything's gonna break, and once you fix that, put it back on the road, and then everything's gonna break again. Just because it looks good in a PPI doesn't mean that the car is good.
But I think there's so many people that are like that think they're enthusiasts or they're trying to get into the game and they don't understand that part of it. Like every car that you go buy, even when you buy a perfect car, it's not a perfect car.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what
You can
can
dissect any car. You can dissect the car with 100 miles.
You need to know. Look, listen to make.
I bought a friend of mine, perfect car,
perfect.
30,000 mile car. It needed a top end rebuild, but it was a perfect car.
There you go.
But it had been sitting. So guess what? It's going to need all of that shit's going to in the engine
So
bay
that's
done.
great. So you bought a 30,000 mile car, and now he's going to spend $20,000 on engine rebuild.
Exactly.
And you're going forward to go backwards. Like you're spending more money. You spend more money for the miles.
But that's a lot of
And now
stuff
he's gonna
that's
spend-
not talked about. Like a lot of buyers, they're even maybe new buyers or like green buyers that don't know. Like we've been in the game. We've all had a bunch of cars, all of us.
Yeah.
So we get it. We get it.
Yeah.
Like those guys are like maybe they're virgins. That's like their first or second car, and they think that they're gonna walk in and be like, oh, I just paid $150. I'm golden forever. And it's like that doesn't work that way. If you want to be golden, go buy a car with a warranty.
Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of these guys, especially first time classic car buyers, the worst. Mm-hmm. Like,
The worst. You heard him.
Like the worst. Like they think that they're buying a CPO'd used car. Like
Exactly.
dude, this is not.
Yeah.
Like a headlight washer, is dry rotted. It's like, and what do you want me to do about it?
Yeah. Do you understand what you're buying a 40-year-old car? What are you talking about right now?
That's people that think mentally that they're buying just because they're dropping. You do drop it. Doesn't matter if you buy it off of me or you buy it off of somebody else. You're gonna drop a check. Like, on one of these cars. More importantly, because you're not gonna lose your ass. Mm-hmm. You do drop a check on $150,000 new Porsche.
This weather stripping looks a little worn out.
I think you can option a normal Carrera up to like 120 grand.
Yeah,
100 grand.
exactly.
Stupid. Like,
crazy money.
Shit's worth 40 grand in 3 years.
Yeah,
like,
crazy money.
You spend 80, it's worth 85.
And even if you
I'm not saying you're gonna triple. Oh my god, you're gonna triple your money.
Yeah,
your money's safe.
Exactly.
Your money's liquid.
Exactly. You're gonna get what you put in, and even if you maintain it properly, you're gonna get your maintenance money back out of it too because you'll have the records. You'll be like, look,
drive it right.
Yeah.
What we talked about also.
Exactly. It's like, look,
right.
you have you did an engine rebuild. Everybody's like, oh my God, I had to do that. I was like, but that's actually worth money. You keep your receipts. You'll be like, look, man, this is golden.
Yeah.
Like this car is good. Yeah, this car is good because it had an engine rebuild 2 years ago. It's good. And I've been driving it. So it's solid.
Well, if you drive it, I don't know.
Yeah. You're like,
I've been driving it, so I need another engine rebuild.
I've been using it hard. Yeah, I know, right? I'm going to need another engine rebuild in another year.
Yeah.
No. But, I mean, that is an element I feel like since you guys, and I'm glad we touched on it, I didn't even anticipate going down that path. But to educate a lot of the listeners or even somebody who's interested in it, buying their first classic Porsche or something like that, that's a real thing. Like you guys need to understand that the people that are listening that maybe haven't bought a classic Porsche, and if you only bought new ones, because we have listeners that like that too, they have all modern Porsches, like water-cooled stuff, and they're thinking about buying their first air-cooled and all that. It really is like, be prepared to spend additional money. Unless you want to pay up front, but then those guys complain about the price too. They're like, well, I don't want to buy a $100,000, G-body car, but it would be a perfectly sorted car, but you don't want to pay that. So you want to pay $45 for it and then put another $30 in it anyways, that you have to bring it back to life.
You got to spend $30. That's a lot of money.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just using it as an example because, like you said, you're going backwards to go forwards and all that kind of stuff.
At the end of the day, you end up being exactly where you could have been, in just saving time.
Exactly.
Or not being able to.
You're going to pay one way, right? Like that's the thing. Is like there's no such thing as a cheap Porsche. Like you're going to pay.
Right.
You're paying up front or paying the backside somewhere. I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, you got to pay baller money, but I'm saying whatever the car needs, is either you're gonna pay for it up front or you're gonna pay for it on the backside.
Yeah.
It's just this.
I mean, yeah, for sure. You know, I mean, that's. But
Otherwise, it's just gonna be a piece of shit.
I think that's why, you know, people obviously they wait for the best deal to come around and shit like that. You know, and there's people that have been looking for Porsches for like 4 or 5 years. It was like when they call me, like, yeah, I mean, I've been looking for this car for 5 years. I'm like, all right, great, you're not buying this one, bye. Like, like it's not like if you haven't found one in 5 years, like you're not gonna buy one today. Like,
I totally agree with that.
Like you've already wasted 5 years of enjoying a car because you want to be a cheap ass for $5,000.
Exactly.
You know, like you're trying to negotiate $2,500 off a car. Like
you lost a deal over $3,000,
and you lost, you know, a lot of enjoyment. Like this shit, driving these cars puts a smile on your face.
Of course.
Like it doesn't matter if it's stock or not. Like you can buy a stock SE. Like you take it
and
for
have a
ride,
great time.
Windows down, you're gonna be cruise as long as you know you got no AC.
That's we've established that earlier.
Windows down, Windows down.
Yeah.
And
the people that front that say like, oh, my AC works great in my car. Bullshit.
No, it fucking doesn't, dude.
Bullshit.
Yeah, right. You go show up with the windows up, but you get out, your ass is swamped.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, bullshit.
3 condensers.
Exactly.
2 electric fans.
Bullshit.
Oh my God, bro. Yes. We've had contraptions. You know, like people
I bet.
try to make their AC work. I mean, you got a $100,000 car. You want to make, you know.
Yeah.
Bro, we've had like the entire floor. They put like a fucking Jeep condenser with like fucking HVAC system from a Tahoe. Like, and it's like.
You're like, what is this?
And
take all this
it still
out.
blows like
all of
it still blows like lukewarm.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
You're
like,
like,
it works great, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, it doesn't.
yeah.
Like,
Meanwhile, your car is 200 pounds heavier.
yeah, literally. Yeah.
And I got to rip all of the shit out of it
Yeah,
now.
I got to spend an extra $1,000 ripping all this out. Yeah.
Because nobody wants to buy a car like this.
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
no ACs, it would have been.
yeah. I mean, at the point, like we talked about this before, especially in a classic car, I guess it's part of the suffering part of it. You just need to deal with it, right?
No.
You're like, oh, my AC sucks. Yeah, they all suck, man. That newsflash.
Or live in an area that's got good weather.
Yeah, right. Move to NorCal or something like that, where it's always hoodie weather.
Yeah. And where you're about to die.
Yeah.
At any given second.
Exactly. We're gonna break off into the ocean.
You might catch on fire or break off into the ocean. Like,
Yeah, choices.
yeah. You know, life choice. You got to balance. You know.
Yeah. Pick your poison.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. I'm good over here.
Yeah.
With our tsunamis and stuff.
we're
pretty bad
hurricane
too.
every once in a
We're
while.
talking shit, but we're pretty
Yeah,
bad.
I know. We have hurricanes, alligators, snakes, whatever. Anything can kill us at any point. But
you know.
we grew up like that, so
Heat
we're just
stroke.
used to it. It's like, yeah, there's a snake here. Who gives a shit? Move on.
Yeah, what's up? Dap him up.
Exactly.
What's up, bro?
He's just here to eat something.
Yeah, he just
What's the
wants
problem?
food, bro.
He just want to bite you.
It's crazy.
Just here to kill something.
yeah.
No, man, but we always love coming down here, man, and seeing all your inventory and seeing all the DP stuff and seeing the roof cars, seeing the RWB stuff. It's refreshing, I should say, is the best way I can describe seeing what you guys have. And the way you turn inventory over too is a great thing, I think, for the community too, because you're putting these cars back out where they should be at, with people to enjoy them.
Yeah, we're taking them off of people who have had them stashed for 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Putting them in the hands of somebody who's going to actually enjoy it.
Exactly.
For the most part, you know.
Yeah, even if it is just take it to a Cars and Coffee, at least it's getting seen again instead of being locked away, right?
Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just forget about seeing it. Even if you don't, just take it for a ride, bro. You know, go do
That's
a highway
true.
blast and go stretch its legs. You know, Italian tune-up. And
Yeah, and that's another thing too. And to each their own. And we've had this conversation many, many times. But they look good sitting still, but they're even more fun to drive, right? Yeah. And that's
100%.
what the whole reason we have these, at least us.
Pointing case.
Yeah,
Today.
guys like us, like we want to drive them at the end of the day. And yeah, I care about the way it looks, but I really care about the way it drives. You know, like that stuff is cosmetic. That's easy fix stuff. It's like, dude, I know paint guys, I know body guys. Not that big of a deal. Like, does it run like shit? Then I don't have anything to do with it.
Absolutely. You want to, like, cosmetically, you said, isn't as worth. We're getting his snoring.
I know, it's awesome.
You know, you want to get a car with good bones. Like, even if you're going to buy a project for yourself, like, make sure the engine and transmission is good.
Yeah.
Everything else is fixable. You don't want to have a $30,000 headache.
No.
You know?
Exactly.
And then fix the outside, too. It's like,
exactly. You're just like, I bought a basket
just
case.
buy another car.
Yeah,
literally.
I bought a basket case.
Yeah, and it's hard to translate how these cars drive, like, to people who've never driven them.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, bro, you don't get it. Like,
exactly.
Car drives so cool, like, and especially a fast one, you know?
Well, yeah, like when we went around this RWB car, because it's supercharged and it's just instant power. I mean, it has torque like a V8, and it's just insane. And, you know, I'm sure this white sneaker people, if they ever look at this video and figure out,
what the fuck is that thing?
They look at that and they're like, how do you drive it like that?
Yeah.
And it's like, dude,
why is it broken?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something wrong with your suspension, buddy.
Exactly. Your camber's off.
But yeah, it's hard to, you tell somebody 200 horsepower in a 1980s car, and they're like, for the most part, they're gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking? That shit ain't fun.
Exactly.
And it really is, bro.
Exactly.
And you buy, you get one like the bigger power cars that we have.
The monster, like the
and you'll have
like the 964. You guys were telling about
you
the
giggling
big,
like a little girl, bro.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
I have the video.
Yeah, bro. We have video like
poop in your pants.
It's crazy, bro. And it's you're talking about 500-600 horsepower, not feels like 1,000 horsepower. You're banging gears, it's all
especially
over
in a car that light.
It's super light, and it's a different sensation. It's like we were talking the turbo lag, like the new cars.
Mm-hmm.
They're obviously built for a purpose. Like to have the instant power. Like, you need
no
that
lag
to break records and for street driving. But at the end of the day, none of these cars are gonna break records. You want a driving sensation and a feel, and a big turbo car gives you that gap,
surge.
like, holy shit, I don't know when this thing's gonna come on.
Mm-hmm. And then it surges, and then it's on.
Then it's on, and you gotta hold on, and that's fun.
It is. And that's what makes these cars, especially the turbo cars, so much fun because of that. And it's just insane.
I push on turbo cars, bro.
Yeah.
I want everybody to buy turbo cars, make their cars turbo, like air cooled.
When are you gonna turbo it? Turbo.
I'm talking
I know,
to
he's already.
Like, let me
turbo
know,
your
bro.
964.
I know where to take it.
I know.
Let's make this thing turbo.
We can do it. Narrow body turbo.
Narrow
Let's
body,
do it.
all-wheel drive turbo. That's like the roof that we just sold. That's going to Puerto Rico. Like it was a red 964.
Yeah.
C4 RCT Evo turbo. Like.
That's crazy, yeah.
200.
Well, like that one
car,
back there, like that C4 turbo back there.
Yeah, that's wide body, right?
Yeah,
that
wide body
fast. This car was it was 280,000 kilometer car.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's got 30,000 miles. The first person that came to see it in person bought it. First person.
Yeah, I believe it.
People don't understand that.
I told Eddie, I was like, man, I want to buy it. I was like, maybe I'll trade my car and buy that turbo.
That green 964 is ridiculous. So we got to translate.
You heard it. You got to do something.
Take it in trade.
Yeah, he's take it home with you.
No, but for sure, dude. Like a turbo car is 100% the way to go when in the air-cooled world. Or you got to spend $50,000 on a natural aspirator race motor,
which is ridiculous. Yeah.
Or more. 50, 60.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've talked about it too many times. It's crazy. Like an air-cooled.
Mike 911 in Cali.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to him about the car. Like it's a 4-liter. And
all
stuff.
Yeah,
like,
the money he's put in that car.
400 horsepower. Sick.
Yeah.
If you got the money, swing it. I would do it. I would have a turbo car and a car.
Yeah. His car is fire too.
His car's fire.
Yeah.
But it's like.
But he paid up too.
It was a lot of money and a lot of time. People don't understand how much time it takes.
Exactly.
Oh, I could build that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like nothing.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just pick up the phone, hand the keys over, and
see you in 2
weeks.
weeks.
Shit costs $150,000 to build.
Yeah. The crazy thing about
you can buy
it
it for 80. Like,
people don't realize that like an air-cooled motor that is putting out 400 horsepower is a $50,000 motor. Yeah. If you went 500 horsepower from an air-cooled motor, that's a $100,000 motor. Yeah. And people are like, why does it cost so much? I was like, because nobody's building that shit.
No, but why does it cost so much? Because these cars, it's not like a small block Chevy. Like, you're not built to make, it's not just step on it and that's it. Like, they're built to take it till you run out of gas and then fill it up with gas and then do it again.
Exactly.
You want to blast to Amelia, like
exactly.
You're not going to do it. A small block Ford is going to blow a head gas.
And there's only a certain amount of people building those cars at that, because I mean you're talking about like millimeters and tenths of stuff, especially when you're pushing an air-cooled motor that much. Like if you're building a 4-liter air-cooled motor, like your duration and all that stuff is so tight.
You have to be in airtight rooms. You can't have any type
everything's
of
so tight. Like that engine has to be blueprinted perfectly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And like you said, you used it great. It is a race engine. I mean, that car, like a 4-liter engine, air-cooled engine, if you rewind the clock, those kind of engines, not 20, 30 years ago, were racing at Le Mans. So that essentially, those are like Le Mans race engines that you want to put in your street car.
Well, they were doing it with 2.8s, and 3 liters, and 2.7s, and weird 3.1s, like weird combinations.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. It's crazy, man. These cars are fast, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw what Gunther Works did at Laguna Seca, like 400 horsepower car with a set of slicks, as fast as the newest and the most improved GT3 RS.
Exactly.
Were built by the entire Porsche. It was built by Porsche.
Yeah, all that backing and all that money
and
all that R&D.
Compared to just Gunther Works is big. Built by Vorsteiner. I mean, it's it's a cool car, but it doesn't have the same engineering. I think
absolutely not.
Porsche would. So
it doesn't have those dollars behind it.
Goes to show you, 3 pedal stick shift, 400 horsepower, and just
light body,
and a lot more fun.
Yep.
It goes to show you how much.
Plus,
how
it's
fast,
and we've talked about this too. And usable power too, right?
Usable power.
Yeah, usable power.
Well, I like unusable, so I'm not.
I know. Over the top.
I like over the top.
Yeah.
I want to make 1,000 horsepower.
I want it to not be able to use it.
I want to put it in third gear and crash. Basically.
I want to be able to shift down to third at 90 and just do a big 11 all the way down on the highway. 90 miles an hour, right?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Do you have anything else?
No.
Well, thank you guys for taking the time. We love everything that you guys are doing, and thanks for inviting us in. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for taking us a ride in the RWB that you guys have, and keep doing a great work. And I know we'll see you guys in less than a month, because we'll be back obviously for DRT.
Let's go.
So
it's gonna be fun.
and then we'll see you. I'm sure at Amelia and all the other stuff we always see you guys at. So
yeah, hopefully we don't get caught in the sand.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. How about no camping?
No camping
with your
glamping.
with your sweetheart under the stars this time.
I'll try my best.
Yeah.
He's gonna take his butt flaps out on his Z63.
Next time, actually lower the tire pressure.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work.
I don't know. Really? That works in the sand?
Well, I'm joking. They do that with off-road cars when it already has mud terrains on it. That's what I'm saying. You got to air down.
I mean, at that point, I would have tried anything.
Yeah, anything.
That shit would have been on rims.
Yeah,
spare tires trying to get out of there.
I'm like, go get some shells, throw it under. But in all seriousness, thank you guys for your time. We'll see everybody on the next episode, and see you later.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of PCar Talk. Connect with us on Instagram at PCar Talk or online at PCarTalk.com.